Those who follow The Young and the Restless, Melissa Ordway know that she, husband Justin Gaston, ex-Chance, and daughters Olivia and Sophie moved to Tennessee some time ago. However, given that she's still recurring as Abby on the CBS soap, the family often travels back and forth from their new home to Los Angeles, and boy, what a trip back they had. The actress posted 11 photos and one video that gave fans a glimpse into their most recent trip, which took place over a week's time, and shared, "What a week in LA, sunshine, good food, great friends, work and yes, even a car break-in. Never a dull moment." However, Ordway made it clear that no matter what, they love Los Angeles. One of the pics gave a first-hand look into the damage caused to their red and black Jeep Wrangler with glass from the back window shattered on the ground. However, as Ordway mentioned, it wasn't all doom and gloom. There were plenty of smiles to go around over great food, fun in the sun and more. A couple of her castmates quickly jumped into the comments to express their concern, including Tracy E. Bregman Lauren, who stated, "Happy you were here and OMG, I'm so sorry." Eileen Davidson, who plays Ordway's TV mom Ashley, added, "Oh no." As Michelle Stafford Phyllis sent her some love in the form of heart emojis. "We're glad the actress and her family are safe and we enjoy every time Ordway is able to bring Abby back to Genoa City." Title, Shattered Glass, Shifting Tides. For years, Elise Hartley had mastered the art of silence, on-screen and off. As one of the most beloved faces of The Young and the Restless, her character, Vanessa Prescott, had captivated daytime television audiences with her poised elegance and veiled vulnerability. But in real life, Elise was no different. She had built walls made of discipline, time management, and red-eye flights, splitting her life between Los Angeles and her quieter haven in Northern California. Until the glass shattered. It was an early April morning when Elise stepped out of her San Francisco loft, holding a steaming travel mug in her overnight bag. The city was just beginning to stir, its usual ballet of honking cars and distant foghorns dimmed by the early hour. She didn't even notice the broken window until she opened her car door. The passenger seat was littered with glass, shards glittering like broken diamonds under the rising sun. Her glove box was open, its contents tossed like a teenager's backpack. Her laptop, gone. Her favorite leather notebook, filled with script notes and poems and half-written letters, gone. Her grandmother's scarf, blue with gold paisley, ripped and thrown to the floor. The theft wasn't the value. It was the violation. The city, once her retreat, suddenly felt like a stranger. The air had shifted. Later that afternoon, after hours of police reports and vacant apologies from building security, Elise sat at her kitchen counter scrolling through emails. The studio had sent her next week's script. Her agent, Daria, had followed up twice. A short message blinked on her screen. "Heard about the car, damn. Come back down. It's time anyway. Daria." The call came before The Young and the Restless even had a name. Back then, it was just a pilot. Elise had been in her late 20s, fresh from theater circuits and Shakespearean dialogue, utterly skeptical about joining a daytime soap. But the role of Vanessa Prescott, the black sheep of a pharmaceutical dynasty who returns to claim a slice of the empire, spoke to something personal. Elise knew what it meant to stand on the outside of power and smile anyway. She never expected it would turn into a decade-defining role, that the public would follow Vanessa's every twisted love affair, betrayal, and redemption arc like gospel. Elise had walked red carpets, hosted award shows, and watched her face appear in Times Square, always Vanessa, never just Elise. But after nearly 9 years, she stepped away. No dramatic farewell, no scandal, just a break. Except breaks aren't supposed to last 2 years. Or maybe they are. As she descended from the plane at LAX, Elise felt the heat settle on her skin like a second atmosphere. There was something about Southern California, the confidence of palm trees, the muscle of the Pacific, the overcaffeinated urgency of people who believed they were one good pitch away from immortality. This was the air where Vanessa Prescott had been born. And maybe, Elise thought, where she needed to be reborn too. Daria picked her up in a black SUV, large sunglasses covering her face and ambition in every word. "Your fans never stopped," she said without greeting. "The soap blogs think you're in hiding. Or Europe. Or pregnant with a senator's baby." "Let them," Elise said, rolling down the window. They drove in silence for a while before Daria said, "The new showrunner wants you back." Elise turned to her. "I thought she hated Vanessa." She hated old Vanessa. Now she wants to reintroduce her with a vengeance. Her words. "Think. Slicker, darker, and with secrets. Everyone thinks you're dead. It's perfect." Elise raised an eyebrow. Soap opera perfect. Better. Primetime twist perfect. Back on set, it was like walking into a well-preserved dream. The walls of Chancellor Park, the endless floral arrangements of Society Restaurant, the ever-shadowy Newman Enterprises office, it was all exactly as she'd left it. And yet, everything had changed. New actors, new dynamics, young talent with eyes as hungry as hers once were. But when she stepped onto set for her first table read, the air buzzed with something electric. Vanessa Prescott, declared dead in a yacht explosion, returns under a new identity to dismantle her family from the inside. Elise smiled. Yes, it was good to be back. The city welcomed her in a way San Francisco never had. There was a predictability to Los Angeles that she had once mocked, its juice bars, its personal trainers, its obsession with branding, but now, she found it comforting. It was a city that lived and breathed ambition. And she was ready to inhale. Elise moved into a minimalist home in Laurel Canyon, sunlight, cypress trees, a garden she'd never remember to water. The quiet no longer made her uneasy. After the chaos of the break-in, after feeling so small and invaded, she found healing in the stretch of the valley and the silence of a house that was hers alone. Filming resumed with a vengeance. Vanessa reappeared on-screen in a dramatic rainstorm, trench coat soaked, lightning behind her, a smirk curving her lips. Twitter exploded. Old fans returned. New viewers asked, "Who is that?" Elise had always been a good actress. But now she was better. Sharpened. The time away had given her edges. The trauma of that April morning, the glass, the cold realization that her sanctuary had been breached, had burned off the last of her hesitation. She no longer played Vanessa. She was her. The press took notice. Headlines rolled in. The Queen returns. Elise Harley's triumphant homecoming to Y&R. After break-in nightmare, Hartley reclaims her crown. From tragedy to triumph, Elise Harley's West Coast comeback. She laughed at the melodrama. But it wasn't wrong. The break-in had been the spark. Not just of fear, but of reawakening. It had stripped away the illusion that her quiet life could protect her from chaos. That retreat meant peace. Elise had always believed she was running toward something, a better role, a calmer life, a truer version of herself. But maybe, she realized now, the running had been a delay tactic. And the real strength lay in returning. To the mess, to the spotlight, to the very stage that once terrified her with its endless scrutiny. A few weeks later, after a long shoot, she sat with Daria at a rooftop bar in West Hollywood. "You know," Daria said, swirling her drink, "you never told me what really got to you about the break-in." Elise was quiet for a while. Then she said, "It wasn't what they took. It was the feeling that someone had seen everything. That I'd been exposed. All my notes, my mess, my fragments. And now, Elise leaned back. Now I want them to see it." Daria smiled. "There's a rumor about a spin-off. Vanessa, post-Newman, more global, more espionage." Elise raised a brow. "Vanessa meets Killing Eve." "Something like that." Elise tilted her glass, watching the city lights shimmer in its reflection. "Let's talk." Back in the studio, the crew reset for another take. Vanessa Prescott was about to confront her brother in a wine cellar laced with surveillance cameras. A script cliché, maybe, but Elise played it like Shakespeare. She stepped into the set, placed her hand on the fake stone wall, and looked into the camera as if it were a mirror. No fear, no doubt. A woman broken once, now breaking back in.